in committees, because this is where you should discuss it. Honourable Seme makes another valuable input where Honourable Seme indicates that they should become tools. Madam Speaker, you'll remember that about a year ago we introduced financial dashboards, departmental dashboards. Now, I would hope through you that Honourable Seme has actually looked at one, because the reason Treasury did that was to empower this House to be able to do exactly what Honourable Seme has just raised. But then the member comes here and comes up with socialist claptrap, and I must then understand what her challenges are. We've created facilities for you. Please use those facilities. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, my Treasury team is very happy to assist Honourable Seme in educating her as to exactly how to use those. Madam Speaker, in closing, I just want to say that the provincial fiscus is in good hands with the government of provincial unity. We have a track record over the past 2 years. We will not waver when it comes to accountability. We will not waver when it comes to austerity. And I think there's some members in this House, Honourable Nkosi is one of them, who spoke earlier. You need to go and read the definition of austerity, because it's some of the issues that have been raised, the socialist claptrap from the left. That is why we're having to take austerity measures to make sure we don't overspend, to make sure that we reprioritize our budgets. This is how a functional government works, and how a functional government will continue to work. And it's given great pleasure, Madam Speaker, to speak after Honourable Dirks. Thank you very much.
Honourable members, order. I want to remind you to look at the speakers list and see what was the MEC doing here. That was instructed by the Whips Forum. So I want you to contain that, Whips. Now, honourable members, now, I am asking the MK caucus to go hold a meeting in their offices, please, not here in the House. Honourable Dex, don't threaten Honourable Mbata. Honourable members, thank you. We have come to the end of the debate, and we will now start the voting process. We will lock the doors once, then we vote for both reports. May we have the bell rung? Up to 3 minutes. The locking of the doors also includes calling for members to go. Thank you.
My humble apology.
Thank you, honorable members. We have now come to the end of the general budget debate. The House now needs to vote on the Finance Portfolio Committee and the Standing Committee on Oversight reports. We will deal with both in turn, starting with the Finance Portfolio Committee report. As per the request of the Finance Portfolio Committee, I now put the question to the House as follows. The KwaZulu-Natal Legislature agrees to adopt the report of the Finance Portfolio Committee as I indicated prior to the start of the debate. I will now go party by party to obtain the vote and thereafter check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. I will start with the MK. How do you vote?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We reject.
EFF, how do you vote?
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The Economic Freedom Fighters abstain. Thank you.
NFP, how do you vote?
Madam Speaker, the National Freedom Party supports.
Please show the face, Honorable MEC. Thank you. Can you vote then?
Thank you, Speaker. The NFP supports.
The DA?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Democratic Alliance supports.
The ANC?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The African National Congress supports.
The AFP?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The IFP supports.
Members, I have the vote of all parties. Is there? Honorable Mgati. Your whips, Honorable Mgati. Your whips, the two whips on the... Members, I have the votes of all parties. Is there any member who wishes to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? Is there any member? There is none. If there is none, I will then ask the Secretary for a tally of the votes. You have up to 5 minutes, Honorable Nopala, to tally the votes. Nobala, you may come with the tally of the votes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the total number of members present, including the presiding officer, is 78. There are 73 members physically in the House and 4 present virtually, and there's 1 member that is absent. Madam Speaker, the voting results are therefore as follows. In support, 39. Against, 37. Abstention, 1. In terms of Section 1122 of the Constitution, the presiding officer does not have a deliberative vote under the circumstances and only has a deciding vote if there is an equality of votes. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Not hear the vote in favor.
In favor, 39. Abstentions, 1. Rejections, 37. Thank you.
Honorable members, I therefore declare formally the result of the vote as follows. In favor, 39, against 37, abstentions 1. The ayes have it. We're now moving to voting on the Standing Committee on Oversight report. As per the Starkov request, I now put the question to the House as follows. The KZN Legislature agrees to adopt the report of Starkov as I indicated prior to the start of the debate. I will now go party by party to obtain the vote and thereafter check if any member wishes to record an individual vote. MK?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We're not in support of the report of Starkov. Thank you.
No. The vote must not be interpreted either way. The vote must be very specific. In support or against, what are you saying? Or abstaining?
Against.
Thank you. EFF?
No, thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Economic Freedom Fighters abstained. Thank you.
NFP?
Madam Speaker, we vote in support of the Starkov report.
The DA?
Madam Speaker, the Democratic Alliance supports.
The ANC?
The African National Congress, Honorable Speaker, vote in support.
The IFP?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The IFP supports.
Members, I have the votes of all parties. Is there any members who wish to express an individual vote that is different from their party vote or to abstain? Is there any member? We are also calling for those on the platform. Nobala, seeing that there is none, I will ask you for the tally of the votes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The voting results are the same. Madam Speaker, the total number of members present is 78. Physically present, 73. Virtually present, 4. Absent, 1. Those in favor, in support is 39. Those against, 37. Abstention, 1. The Speaker does not have a deliberative vote and only has a deciding vote if there is an equality of votes. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Nobala. I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Votes in favor, 39. Votes against, 37. Abstentions, 1. The ayes have it. Thereafter, the item on the order paper concerning the general budget debate is concluded. Thank you, honorable members, for your participation. We have now come at the end of the general budget debate. As per the budget sitting order, honorable members, thank you. As per the budget sitting program, we'll now be proceeding to the Committee of the Whole House, wherein we will deal with budget debate of vote 1, which is the budget vote of the Office of the Premier and Community Safety and Liaison, wherein we will still be on this same common link and in the House. Immediately after vote 1 is concluded, we'll then resume with double teams, that is double streams, that is dealing with 2 votes at any given stage for the upcoming 4 days of the budget plenaries, which is today, Tuesday, 14 July, 13, 16 July, Friday, 17 July, and the morning part of Tuesday, 21 July 2026. In the morning of Tuesday, 21 July, budget vote 10, venue A, chamber, and vote 13, venue B in Ngcuce committee room will take place starting at 9 o'clock until 12:15. During midday of the same day, Tuesday, we will reconvene at the chamber again for vote 2, which is the legislature. Members, please further note that plenaries are in a hybrid fashion. Once budget vote 2 is concluded, the sitting will then resume, wherein the speaker will receive the report from the acting chairperson of committees, and this will be followed by voting on the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2026. The streams will be as follows for today. Vote 9, which is Community Safety and Liaison, taking place at the chamber, and vote 4, which is the Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, taking place in Ngcuce committee room. At the conclusion of both votes, that will end the work for the day. On Thursday, 16 July 2026, we'll proceed with budget votes 12, venue A, which is the chamber, and 11. Vote 11, which will be venue B at Ngcuce committee room, simultaneously, followed by budget votes 6 and 8, happening at the same time too. Budget votes 7, venue A, chamber, and budget vote 3, venue B in Ngcuce committee room, will take place on Friday, 17 July together, with also budget vote 5, which will be at venue A, which is the chamber, and vote 14, which will be at venue B in Ngcuce committee room, respectively. May I please reiterate, members, that on Tuesday, 21 July, the budget vote that will be the last one will be processed here at the main chamber, and will be followed by voting by the House on the KwaZulu-Natal Appropriation Bill 2026. The presiding over budget votes and debates thereon will be undertaken by various chairpersons as per for the roster as assigned by the acting chairperson of committees, Honorable O.P. Kunene, who's deputy chairperson of committees and acting chairperson of committees. The House, honorable members, therefore adjourns until Tuesday, 21 July 2026 at 15:30.
Honorable members, we are not having lunch now. We are starting with the vote on the Premier's debate. We are coming together to listen to the Premier's debate. We are not having lunch now. We are going to have the vote on the debate on vote 1, and then we are going for lunch. Thank you.
If the chair was already chair,
Mafika, hlala phansi. Order.
Order, honorable members.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
2 minutes.
We'll ring the bell for 2 minutes. Order. Order. Honorable members, we are beginning. This budget debate is conducted through hybrid means, and the normal standing rules of the legislature will apply to the debate. On connectivity, before we proceed to the budget debate, I must reiterate the ruling of the Speaker which relates to connectivity problems. The Speaker has ruled that the following measures will be adopted to try and assist members who may not be able to participate in a debate due to connectivity challenges. If a member has problems with connectivity and is unable to deliver his or her speech, the presiding officer will call the next speaker on the speaker's list so as not to delay the proceedings. If the member regains connectivity before a response to the debate has commenced, the presiding officer will be flexible to allow the affected member to deliver his or her speech, with the proviso that the member reconnects to the sitting prior to the commencement of the response to the debate. Secondly, we request that a member who is scheduled to participate in a debate should arrange for a fellow party member to be on standby to read the member's speech into the record should the need arise. The presiding officer will allow a fellow party member to read out the speech on behalf of a member who is unable to deliver his or her own speech. If all interventions fail and a member is still unable to deliver his or her speech and has not managed to arrange for a fellow party member or a whip to deliver the speech on his or her behalf, that speech should unfortunately not form part of the official record of proceedings. In short, if members have connectivity problems, the presiding officers will follow the above guidance to try and assist them. We trust that this is in order. Lastly, members who are not actively part of the debate are reminded to mute their microphones and switch off their cameras at all times. Also, members are requested to take all reasonable measures to reduce any background noises that may interfere with the broadcasting of proceedings. Honourable members, I also wish to confirm that the budget report 2026-27 of the Office of the Premier has been tabled in terms of the standing rules. We'll now proceed with matters on the agenda, being the debate on Vote 1. We'll now call upon the Honourable Premier to come to the podium to address the House for 45 minutes. Honourable Premier.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Our Honorable Deputy Chair of Chairs, Honorable MECs, Honorable members, Honorable Chief Whip, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committees, Honorable Speaker of our Legislature. I wish to also acknowledge the presence of the members of the NCOP who are present today, whom I did not see in the morning. Also to acknowledge a new member in the Legislature, Honorable Alderman PMS Ngubane. We welcome the member of our provincial legislature. Honorable Chair, I wish to start by joining those who were sending a message to the family of Dr. Tutugo Mahlaba and to the ANC and to the entire House. Because apart from being a leader from a political party, was also part of this bigger family. Also to send a message to the family of Honorable Nkwanyana, the IFP and the entire legislature. I rise before this House with a humility. I rise with a resolve KwaZulu-Natal is a province that carries South Africa's hope. It is a province that shapes South Africa's image to the world. Our province faced many storms. These storms did not arrive by chance. They arrived from three directions. The first was the scar of July 2021 unrest. Our province was tested by unrest. Businesses were destroyed, livelihoods were lost, trust was shaken. The second was the very nature. Climate change brought floods to our doorstep. It tested our infrastructure and our resilience. The third was economic hardships. Our country faced a fiscal constraint, budget tightened, departments were asked to do more with less. Honorable Chair, these were not easy inheritances, but this administration does not run from hard truths. We confront them, we work through them, we deliver despite them. 2 years have passed since that moment. Today, I return to this house not with excuses, but with an account. I return with a report on what we have built, what we have repaired, and what remains before us. This is the character of the 7th administration. We do not simply speak of transformation, we measure it. We do not simply promise recovery, we track it, department by department, rand by rand. Honorable Chair, this budget vote is more than a set of numbers. It is a statement of intent. It tells our people what we value. It tells our people where their taxes go and why. Today, I present that account to this House and to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Honorable Chair, allow me to first give context. Allow me to report on how, faced with these challenges, we began the work of inspiring new hope. Perhaps before I do so, Honorable Chair, allow me to once again emphasize this point. The Office of the Premier is not a department. Its role is different. Its role is strategic. The office ensures that departments, municipalities, and social partners pull in one direction. It ensures their efforts are coordinated. It ensures their efforts are focused. It ensures their efforts are directed towards our developmental objectives. Because this role is strategic and not operational, our budget looks different from those of frontline departments. A hospital budget builds wards. A roads budget builds bridges. Our budget builds direction. It builds coherence. It builds the systems that make every other department's work possible. Our resources are invested in long-term planning. They are invested in policy coordination. They are invested in evidence-based decision-making. They are invested in performance monitoring. They are invested in implementing oversight. These functions do not always show on the ground, but they are indispensable. They ensure public resources are used well. They ensure government programs deliver real outcomes. They ensure the priorities of the province become the actions of the government. Honorable Chair, during this financial year, the Office of the Premier will focus its work on the priorities set out in the State of the Province address. That address is our compass. This budget vote is how we fund the journey. Part of inspiring new hope over these 2 years, the Office of the Premier adopted a whole of government and a whole of civil society approach. This approach has produced real results. It has also built the foundations for more to come. This approach means we do not work alone. In what we say, in what we plan, in what we do, we work together with the state and with non-state actors. Business is not just a consultant, business is heeded. Communities are not just informed, communities are heard. Traditional leaders is not a sideline. Traditional leaders is a partner at the table. Honorable Chair, the evidence is clear. This approach has restored investor confidence in our province. Since late 2024, KwaZulu-Natal has shown improvement across 3 fronts: investor confidence, jobs, and crime. These gains are not accidental. They are linked to our investment conferences. They are supported by better electricity supply. They are supported by lower inflation and interest rates. They are supported by logistics improvements and private investment. In 2024, our investment conference secured pledges of 89 billion. In 2025, we secured 101 billion. That is a 12 billion more. That is a growth of 13.5%. This tells investors one thing clearly. KwaZulu-Natal is open and KwaZulu-Natal delivers. Crime too is falling. Murder is down 8.8%. Attempted murder is down 6.5%. Sexual offenses are down 5.3%. Aggravated robbery is down 10.2%. Carjacking is down 10.8%. Residential burglary is down 8.1%. These are not just numbers. These are families sleeping easier at night. Honorable Chair, hotspots remain Inanda, Umlazi, Plesisle, Durban Central, Chatsworth, Phoenix, Pinetown, KwaMashu, and Tozoma still demand our full attention. We do not celebrate prematurely. We stay the course. Our infrastructure programs are turning investment into jobs. The Durban Port logistics upgrade is creating work. The N3 corridor improvements are creating work. Dube Trade Port expansion is creating work. The Richards Bay Industrial Development Zone is creating work. Road rehabilitation, water infrastructure, renewable energy, each is creating work. Directly and through local supply chains. Over 6,000 jobs have been recovered in early this financial year, the first quarter of 2026. And our economy is accelerating. Provincial growth moved from 1.1% in 2024 to 1.8% in 2025 to 2.0% annualized in the first quarter of 2026. Compare that to the nation, 0.6%, then 1.0%, then 2% annualized in the same period. Honorable Chair, KwaZulu-Natal is outperforming South Africa. Manufacturing is recovering. Tourism is recovering. Logistics is recovering. This is proof that our approach is working. But, Honorable Chair, we are not naive. Pledges must become factories. Growth must become jobs. Statistics must become better lives. That is the test we set for ourselves. And that is the test we will keep applying. Honorable members, as part of our coordination and mandate, we have formalized the establishment and operationalization of 6 councils, each chaired by the Premier. These councils matter. They matter because government cannot solve every problem alone. They bring different stakeholders into one room. They bring business, labor, civil society, academia, and traditional leadership around one table. They provide advisory input straight to government. They ensure our decisions are tested, sharpened, and owned beyond the walls of this legislature. This is coordination in practice. This is inspiring new hope at work. The 6 councils are these: the Council Against Crime, the KZN Council on Climate Change and Sustainable Development, the Provincial Council on AIDS, the KwaZulu-Natal Economic Council, the HRDC, or rather the Human Resource Development Council, the Social Cohesion and Moral Regeneration Council. I want to expand on the Human Resource Development Council of KwaZulu-Natal. We have had a 2-day orientation of the new HRDC members to re-engage on the need to lead in ensuring that the province develops a workforce capable of supporting inclusive economic growth, industrialization, technological advancement, and employment creation. Of particular focus will be to address the skills mismatch and early childhood development, which is the foundation phase to provide a firm base for our children's future. Given KwaZulu-Natal's high unemployment rate, particularly among young people, and the misalignment between the skills produced by education institutions and those demanded by employers, the HRDC has developed a plan beyond being a coordinating structure and to become the province's principal mechanism for skills intelligence, workforce planning, and labor market alignment. Together with the institutions of higher education, TVET colleges and community colleges, including the private sector, we will ensure that KwaZulu-Natal is poised for a new skills development path. Through the HRDC, we will work with employers to address the shortages of technical, engineering, ICT, artisans, health, logistics, and managerial skills. Coupled that, we shall unearth the future-orientated skills such as artificial intelligence, robotics, data analytics, cybersecurity, renewable energy, advanced manufacturing, and digital services. The plan is aimed at ensuring that our skills program are demand-led, ensuring that we have a strong collaboration between education institutions and industry. Our skills plan shall be linked and begin with investment priorities. This means that every major investment should include a workforce development plan. This ensures human capital planning supports economic development. Each council speaks to a priority that cuts across departments. Each council ensures no single voice dominates the decisions that shape our province. Honorable Chair, soon in alignment with the presidency, we will launch and operationalize the Infrastructure Council. This will complete our architecture of coordinated whole-of-society governance. The Office of the Premier also carries a duty of monitoring and public participation. Government cannot improve what it does not measure. Government cannot serve people it does not listen to. This is why we continue to strengthen integrated service delivery through Operation Sukmasake, DDM, and the district development model. Since October 2024, the Provincial Executive Council has led Cabinet Zimbizo in all 11 districts. These Zimbizo bring government to the people. They surface real problems on the ground. They ensure every sphere of government responds together, not in silos. This is the one plan vision in action. This is the people-centered governance, not as a slogan, but as a practice. But honorable members, honesty demands more. This work has also exposed real gaps. Some OSS war rooms are not functioning consistently. Coordination between institutions remains uneven. Backlogs persist in water, sanitation, roads, electricity, and housing. Unemployment remains high. Crime remains a burden. Municipal capacity remains stretched. We do not hide from these truths. We act on them. In the 2026-2027 financial year, we will revitalize OSS war rooms as our primary platform for community-based delivery. We will strengthen monitoring and case management. We will deploy multidisciplinary teams to support struggling municipalities. We will sharpen consequence management. We will accelerate infrastructure delivery. Through this, we will build capable institutions. We will deepen partnerships across government. We will ensure the district development model delivers outcomes people can feel in their daily lives. Responding to the call of the late His Royal Highness Prince Mangosuthu Obituaries. Honorable Chair, allow me to turn to another pillar of our work, public and economic diplomacy. In today's world, no province stands alone. No economy grows in isolation. The Office of the Premier takes economic diplomacy seriously. We understand that investment follows relationship, jobs follow a trust, trade follow trust built over time. This is why we value our diplomatic engagements with various countries. Each engagement is not a ceremony. Each engagement is strategy. Each handshake abroad is measured against one question. Does it bring investment home? Does it open markets for our exporters? Does it create jobs for our people? This is also why we protect our image with care. Public diplomacy shapes how the world sees KwaZulu-Natal. It shapes how investors see our stability. It shapes how tourists see our safety. It shapes how partner nations see our reliability. The Office of the Premier coordinates this work across government, ensuring one consistent voice, one consistent message, one consistent province presented to the world. Honorable Chair, in a competitive global economy, perception is not a vanity. Perception is capital. We intend to keep building it deliberately and diplomatically for the benefit of every resident of this province. That is why when we were confronted by the demonstrations on the 30th of June, we invited the entire society to stand together with government in protecting our infrastructure, in protecting the lives. Honorable Chair, government cannot only plan for the long term, government must also respond to what our people face every day. This is why the Office of the Premier established the Premier Special Programs. These programs are not add-on, they are direct responses to real live problems. Engangeni ngesango iyafohla. Confronts undocumented migration and ease pressures on services and jobs. Ichilo confronts gender-based violence and femicide, a crisis that steals mothers, daughters, and sisters from our communities. Ngeke life ngathi confronts the daily impact of climate change on ordinary households. Secondary cities initiative strengthens local government through targeted investment so that a growth is not confined to Durban and Pietermaritzburg alone, but reaches every corner of this province. Honorable Chair, each of these programs carries the Office of the Premier's fingerprint. Each proves that coordination is not an abstract idea. It is a tool we use to solve real problems. These programs will be intensified in this financial year. They are not separate from our overall solution. They are part of it. Where departments work in silos, these programs force collaboration. Where problems fall between the cracks,
These programs catch them. This is inspiring new hope in its most practical form. Seeing a problem, naming it, and organizing the whole of society and the whole of government to solve it. Honorable Chair, now allow me to turn to the budget itself. Figures tell their own story. They tell us what we value. They tell us where our priorities truly lie. The total budget for the Office of the Premier for the 2026-2027 financial year is 856.2 million. This is 856.2 million rand. This budget is structured across 3 programs. These are administration, institutional development, and policy governance. Each program carries a distinct purpose. Together, they carry one mission: a capable, ethical, coordinated province. Honorable Chair, let me turn to Program 1, Administration, which is allocated 234.2 million. This program has clear objectives. It drives executive governance and coordination. It supports the Executive Council. It strengthens intergovernmental relations and the district development model. It carries Operation Sukma Sake. It carries our international relations work. Each of these is a lever. Together, they move the whole machinery of government in one direction. The impact of this investment is real. Through the Premier's Coordinating Forum, whole of government coordination has been strengthened. We have engaged even municipalities that are having challenges as the Executive Council, playing our pivotal role of strengthening a local government. Through the Provincial Executive Council and Cabinet Legislature announcements, provincial priorities are implemented with greater discipline. Accountability has been enhanced across every sphere of government. That is why we are not shy to invite or rather summon local government or to zoom in into local government where there are challenges in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Service delivery has become more integrated, more accelerated. Investment, tourism, and international partnerships have grown. This is what coordination buys us. Honorable Chair, a government that moves as one, not as fragments, will achieve a better future for the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Let me turn to Program 2, Institutional Development, which is allocated 392.7 million, the largest of our 3 programs. Its objective is speak to the heart of a state capacity. It drives public service professionalization, it drives human capital development, it drives digital transformation and ICT modernization. It carries government communication, it carries local governance, it carries our ethics, integrity, and anti-corruption work. This is where we build the state from the inside. And that is what we are indeed doing as the government of provincial unity, shaping the future of this province. We know that we are coming from the long history of state capture, but we are committed in solving the challenges that were introduced by that period. The impact here is foundational. We are building a capable, ethical, and digital-enabled state. We are even roping in the private sector to assist with connectivity, global connectivity in our province. We are coordinating that through this budget. We are strengthening governance and accountability at every level. Through the Digital Information and Innovation Hub, we are modernizing how government serves its people. We are enhancing public confidence in government. We are building institutional resilience that can withstand shocks and outlast administrations. Madam Speaker, Honorable Chair, honorable members, a government that cannot trust its own systems cannot ask its people to trust it either. This program closes that gap. Finally, Honorable Chair, Program 3, Policy and Governance, allocated at 229.2 million. Its objectives are close to our people's daily lives. It carries monitoring and evaluation. It carries the Premier's priority programs. It carries youth empowerment. It carries social cohesion and moral regeneration. It carries our HIV and AIDS coordination. It carries our support to the Zulu monarch and the royal house a whole. The impact is measurable: improved alignment of provincial priorities, stronger evidence-based decision-making, deeper socio-economic inclusion. Through the Youth Empowerment Fund and Women Advancement Fund, more young people are entering our economy. Social cohesion is strengthened, and the strategic institution of the Zulu monarch is preserved, not as tradition alone, but as a living catalyst for development and social stability. At this point, Honorable Chair, I wish to deal specifically with our approach to the modernization of the Zulu monarch. This is not a new idea. It is a shared conviction. It is our submission, supported by His Majesty the King, Mrs. Zulu KwaZulu-Natal, that the Zulu monarch can play a powerful role in development. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair, tradition and progress are not enemies. They can work together. A modernized monarchy does not lose its heritage. It sharpens its impact. It becomes a stronger partner to the state, a stronger anchor for our people, and a stronger symbol of who we are as a nation. As a first step, we have finalized the establishment of the board of the Zulu Royal Household Trust. This board is chaired by Professor Mazibuko. It brings together experts in law, cultural heritage, finance, and policy development. This is deliberate mix, Honorable Chair. Modernization requires more than good intentions. It requires legal precision. It requires financial discipline. It requires cultural sensitivity. It requires policy foresight. This board carries all four. Its resolve is clear: to secure the institution's assets, to strengthen its governance, and to position the Zulu monarch as a lasting catalyst for development and social cohesion in this province, for this generation and for those to come. With an allocation of 93.517 million to the sub-program dealing with the King's support and royal household, the board will focus its work with purpose. It will lead the implementation of agricultural projects. It will identify further revenue generation opportunities. The goal is clear: a trust that stands on its own feet, a monarchy that is financially self-sustaining. One project is already at an advanced stage. This is the beef production project, to be implemented under the royal farms in Ulundi. This project alone signals what modernization can look like: a heritage land put to a productive, income-generating use. Honorable Chair, the Trust is also exploring investment in property, particularly in student accommodation. This sector has been identified as a crisis in our province. Here, the monarchy can be part of the solution, not only a symbol of our past, but an active participant in solving problems our young people face today. I must be candid. Honorable Chair, this allocation is not enough to fully realize this vision. It is a start. Further discussions will follow in this House and beyond it to secure the resources this modernization deserves. Programs once began must not be starved of the means to continue. As I conclude, Honorable Chair and Honorable members, I wish to state categorically that we are forging ahead in having active program to deal with gender-based violence issues confronting our women and children. During the Men's Month, which is July, where we all honor the icon, Dr. Nelson Mandela, I wish to call upon all men to protect women and children. I wish to also express my gratitude and thank the Portfolio Committee Chairperson, Honorable Fraser, and members for their guidance. I also wish to thank the Director General, Ms. Kanyile, and her office, and also thank the advisors and officials who make this institution the true heart of government. Work every single day. Honorable Chair, I hereby commend this budget vote of the Office of the Premier to this provincial legislature. I look forward to the debate ahead. I thank you, honorable members.
Thanks, Honorable Premier, for the report. We now ask the Honorable MC Fraser to table the report of the Premier Portfolio Committee. Over to you, Mr.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Premier and your Executive Council, members of this august House. I welcome the opportunity to table the 2026-2027 budget report of the Portfolio Committee on Premier, Community Safety and Liaison, which focuses on Vote 1, Office of the Premier. This briefly outlines the deliberations on the 2026-2027 APP and budget. The areas covered in the report by the Honorable Premier are the ones in which the committee has a keen interest. The Portfolio Committee met with the Office of the Premier and the Zulu Royal Household Trust on the 11th of November 2025 to discuss their respective first draft APPs and budget for the year 2026-2027. These documents were then presented to the stakeholders on the 16th of January 2026 at Umhlabuyalingana local municipality. During the stakeholders engagement session, the purpose was the elicit contribution from various stakeholders as you are mandated by Section 118 of the Constitution of the Republic. The committee noted and observed that the Office of the Premier has recognized its magnificent role in making the state capable, ethical, and developmental so that it will be able to deliver all priorities. The Portfolio Committee was informed that Office of the Premier had focused on many critical areas, including but not limited to building improved governance and accountability, improved evidence-informed service delivery, as well as professional and ethical provincial administration. The committee noted that the APPs for the 2026-2027 financial year has been prepared with recognition of the sector oversight model guiding the legislature, which also stipulates the time frames of reporting. The committee has noted with keen interest that Office of the Premier increased the targets on two existing performance indicators, the ICT systems and the evaluation report. The total targets therefore increased from 23 to 25. The committee welcomes this move, recognizing that the added targets seem to have minimal budget implications in that they will need to be achieved by the responsible units already in place within the OTP. It is therefore axiomatic that the committee will keep a close eye and play rigorous oversight to ensure that the inclusion of the new targets does not pose a risk of underfunding in other priorities or overcommitting limited resources. Furthermore, the committee expects the OTP to ensure that the APP remains implementable within available budget. The committee has also noted that the OTP's 2026-27 provincial allocation has increased slightly from last financial year's main appropriation budget allocation of 817 million to 856 million in this financial year, with an increase which equates to a mere 4.69%. The Portfolio Committee noted that the 38 million increment in the budget is attributed to the update of the PES provincial equity share formula and inflationary adjustment by the National Treasury. This is accompanied by the department having received an equitable share allocation of 1.4 million in respect of the provision of early retirement without penalization of pension benefits. The Portfolio Committee has further observed that the OTP within its budget has reprioritized funds between programs to address spending pressures. The committee noted furthermore that a transfer payment to the KZN Zulu Royal Household Trust amounted to 28.7 million for the year 26-27 financial year. This is an important transfer aimed at ensuring the provision of administration, maintenance and management of the assets of the ZRHT, including the royal palaces and farms, amongst others. Honorable Chairperson and the House, I am happy to report that the pressure exerted by the Portfolio Committee on the Zulu Royal Household Trust seems to be yielding desired results, with tangible plans to optimize the potential placed in Program 3, which is fundraising. The committee is pleased with brewing plans. The committee will be playing financial and non-financial oversight roles over the final allocation of 856 million allocated to the Office of the Premier in the year 2026-2027 for carrying out its mandate of being a coordinating function and bridging the gap between the provincial departments, DPSA, and DPME, and providing strategic leadership and direction to provincial departments. Members voting on the 2026 Vote 1 budget. The majority of the Portfolio Committee members at the meeting of on the 5th of June 2026 supported the 2026-2027 Vote 1 budget of the OTP. Inkatha Freedom Party voted in support. The African National Congress voted in support. The Democratic Alliance voted in support. Umkhonto weSizwe Party voted against. Economic Freedom Fighters abstained. Honorable Chairperson, in playing its oversight over the above allocated budget for the Office of the Premier and the Zulu Royal Household Trust for the 2026-2027 budget, the committee wishes to bring to the attention of this House that the committee wishes to assist the OTP of the Premier to continue being a leading example to other departments in achieving desirable audit outcomes. The sector oversight model mechanisms will be utilized extensively by the committee to ensure the portfolio committee effectively oversees the department and the ZRHT entity. Meanwhile, as part of its oversight role, the committee will closely track progress on the implementation of the finance and SCOPA resolutions during the 2026-27 year. This will be done through the utilization of the resolution tracking mechanism as per the SOM on a monthly and quarterly basis. The tracking of the resolutions will be done to ensure that the portfolio committee performs vigorous oversight over the financial resources and service delivery performance of the department. In conclusion, I take this opportunity to thank the Premier, Honorable Etienne Ntuli, for this comprehensive budget policy statement and his willingness to account to the committee whenever it is humanly possible. I also wish to thank all the members of the Portfolio Committee for the political maturity during the consideration of Vote 1. We also appreciate the dedication by the acting director, Ngubane, but of course welcoming the news of the new EG of the province, Miss Kanyile. Our gratitude is extended to the support staff of the Portfolio Committee for ensuring maximum support to members. Siyabonga phela. I thank you.
We thank other members. We thank Honorable Fraser. We now start with the debate. We have Honorable M. Chatwa on behalf of the MK to debate for 7 minutes. Over to you, Mr. We are out of order.
Ngibingelele sihlalo usekela wehlalo kule legislature yethu. Ngibingelele kumhlonishwa Premier. Ngibingelele kumhlonishwa uThulasizwe Buthelezi ngokukhethekileyo. Ngibingelele kuNdaba Ezitha. Inkosi uChiliza engekho esathunywe ubayede. Ngibingelele kuma members wonke omkhonto wesizwe and nakuma members ase legislature wonke. Today MKP rise to debate the successive underperformance of the office of the Premier in KwaZulu-Natal. Sihlalo KwaZulu-Natal office of the Premier under umhlonishwa uThami Ntuli GPU faces a major challenges. Speaker, there is an outcry over an empty promise of 100 million in youth business funding, persistent service delivery backlogs in key government departments like health, education, transport in KwaZulu-Natal. Coupled with this is the challenge of micro-level budgetary constraints. Slalo, Mr. Ntuli tabled in his house the budget of more than 817 million for this financial year. Key focus areas for this budget include the youth. As we speak, there are delays in disbursement beneficiary verification and the budget constraints for these targets to be achieved. The disbursement Speaker, were halted by extended compliance and due diligence protocols. Slalo, some municipalities are lagging behind in the comprehensive registration and vetting of information township enterprises, which forced the department to hold fund release to avoid misallocation. Slalo, under the direction of the poor leadership, key allocations, 100 millions of youth fund underwent procedural evaluation after widespread integrity concerns and allegations of political interference and irregular beneficiary selection. Slalo, it is a known fact that a director of youth program in the Premier's office is the IFP youth leader in KwaZulu-Natal. Therefore, political meddling is not far-fetched, not conspiracy theory. Slalo, as MKP, we are tempted to believe that this GPU dumped the youth of the KwaZulu-Natal. Young people must be decisively reject this GPU set up in the polls alonyaka ngoNovember. MKP will wait the third quarterly report and expect those to indicate to this House how many young people benefited from the youth for skills training in April 2026 this year. The report should tell us the exact number of NET youth trained and whether stipends paid on time. And MKP needs impact data on the number of youth businesses funded, how many are still operational, and how many created jobs. MKP demand answers on the KZN Youth Empowerment Fund fiasco. Slalo, Mr. Honorable Ntuli created a Premier Coordinating Forum with an aim to bolster municipalities fail. Slalo, look at Uthugela and Umsunduzi municipalities as an example of the failed coordinating efforts by the Premier under this GPU of KwaZulu-Natal. Uthugela, Umsunduzi, and municipalities faces severe financial and otherwise. There is a creeping services delivery, water and electricity outages. And just recently, workers' labor strike regarding their dire conditions of employment. The OTP is responsible for the overall oversight of all departments in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The persistence and the glaring failures continuously recorded by the Department of Transport, Health and Education calls for an action. Ngebhadi leminyango iphethwe yiqembu lakaKhongolose. Kodwa siyafisa Honorable Premier ekwenzeni umsebenzi we-province ngenhlonipho. Ipolitiki yafuneka sometimes isibeke eceleni. Premier, usekela sihlalo wakho wakwi-province ngokweqembu lakho through you, Chair. Umkhandlu wasothukela lokuwona ophakela abantu amanzi ubulale wawuqeda kodwa asikaze sibone umthatheli inyathelo kodwa ke siyathemba ukuthi nabantu basothukela njoba siyokhethweni nje la ngoNovember bazoyenza ijustice bazenzele ifavor bona to reject i-IFP kulo mkhandlu. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Honorable Chair. We now call upon Honorable MP Kwala on behalf of the IFP to debate for 6 minutes. Over to you.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Premier of the province, Honorable MSCs, Honorable members, the Director General, all protocol observed. I would like to warmly welcome the newly appointed Director General, Ms. Nokuthula Chikanyile, to the office of the Premier. We wish her success in this important role and look forward to her contribution, expertise, and leadership in strengthening the work of the office of the Premier in serving the people of KwaZulu-Natal. We also thank our chairperson, Honorable Bali Fraser, for being consistent in making sure that the Premier's portfolio committee runs its business professionally in doing oversight to the office of the Premier. We appreciate the leadership, as I have repeated earlier, of Honorable Premier Tamintuli and his continued commitment to strengthening governance, promoting accountability, combating corruption, and advancing quality service delivery across the province. His dedication to transparency, ethical leadership, and the rule of law provide a strong foundation for building a prosperous, inclusive, and responsive KwaZulu-Natal. We welcome the allocation of 856.202 million rand to the Office of the Premier for the 2026-27 financial year. This allocation reflects the important role played by the office in coordinating government programs, supporting effective governance, and ensuring that the priorities of the province are implemented for the benefit of all communities. We recognize the need for the office to be adequately supported in fulfilling its critical mandate and advancing the vision of a capable and accountable provincial government. We are pleased with the manner in which the office of the Premier continues to function under the leadership of the Premier that I have mentioned earlier, Premier Tamintuli. The office has demonstrated a commitment to good governance, accountability, and coordinated service delivery. These efforts contribute towards strengthening public confidence and building a culture of clean administration and ethical leadership. We welcome the continued focus on community-based interventions through the war rooms and Operation Sugumasake programs. These initiatives remain important platform for identifying challenges at the grassroots level, coordinating government responses, and ensuring that services reach communities most in need. Their continued impact reflects the province's commitment to inclusive development and improving the lives of the people of KwaZulu-Natal. We also appreciate the Office of the Premier's continued support for the royal household. We welcome the allocation of 93.517 million rand to His Majesty the King and the royal household, as well as the allocation of 28.783 million rand to the Zulu Royal Household Trust during the 26-27 financial year. I think with the time constraint, Chair, I will come back again because I debate issues. I don't debate personalities and criticize other people. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Honorable Kwala. We now ask Honorable Emily Lungwan on behalf of the ANC to debate for 4 minutes. Over to you, finish.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable the Premier, MSs, and all members of the Legislature. Chairperson, government may change, collision may emerge, and administrations may evolve, but the institutional obligation of the state remains constant. That is to serve the people with integrity, competence, and accountability. It is this enduring principle, championed by the African National Congress since the advent of our democracy, that has shaped the character of our democratic state and continue to guide our vision of a capable, ethical, and developmental state. This seventh administration came and took over a well-oiled machinery. The ANC has laid the foundation, and as we continue today, the foundation that was laid by the successive ANC governments remains strong. It is an undisputed fact that Premier Ndebele, Mkhize Zikalala, and Dube laid a solid foundation that this provincial government is standing on. You will notice that there is those premiers that we have recognized. We are happy, Honorable Premier, that today you continue with the work on the foundations laid by your predecessors. It is therefore encouraging. In considering vote 1, we find the office of the Premier that recognizes that improved governance, evidence-based planning, ethical administration, and accountability are indispensable in fulfilling that constitutional mandate. These are not merely administrative ideas. They are the very foundations upon which public confidence in government is built. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chairperson, the Office of the Premier is entrusted with a budget of about 856 million for the 26-27 financial year, an increase of about 4.6% from the previous financial year. While very modest, this increase provides an institution with an important opportunity to strengthen coordination across governance, improve planning, and accelerate implementation. But Chairperson, coordination alone cannot become an end in itself. People of KwaZulu-Natal do not measure government by the number of plans it produces, meetings it convenes, or embezzles it conducted. They measure government by whether taps run, roads are maintained, clinic function, schools perform, and opportunities reach every community. That is why the ANC welcomes the Office of the Premier's continued investment in monitoring and evaluation and digital governance. We note the expansion of performance targets from 23 to 25, including strengthened ICT systems and evaluation mechanisms. So we say, of course, we note also the DDM model that continues to be one of the most important platforms, reform that introduce improved cooperative governance and integrated planning. Thank you.
Now ask Honorable Chief Brataseth, on behalf of the TA, to debate for 8 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chair, Tlanishwa, Sihlalo. Honourable Chair, honourable members, it is my honour today to rise to address the budget presented under Vote 1, the Office of the Premier. The vote is the heartbeat of provincial governance. It is here that leadership is exercised, coordination is achieved, and accountability is demanded. Honourable members, let us begin by welcoming the initiatives contained in this budget that promise real-world impact. The allocation towards youth development initiatives is commendable. In a province where unemployment among young people remains stubbornly high, these programs offer hope and opportunity. Equally commendable was the investigation launched by the Office of the Premier and the subsequent revelation of widespread corruption in the program. What remains outstanding, however, is a report on the promised consequence management following this investigation. Accountability is vital, and we trust that the Premier will favour the House with a response in this regard. The strengthening of interdepartmental coordination is also a step forward. Too often, government departments operate in silos, duplicating efforts and wasting resources. The Premier's office must be the conductor in this orchestra, ensuring harmony in service delivery. The emphasis on performance monitoring is welcome. Citizens deserve to know not only how much is spent, but what is achieved. Transparency builds trust, and trust is the currency of governance. Allocations towards disaster preparedness are vital. KZN has faced floods, storms, and other climate-related shocks. A proactive Premier's office can save lives and protect livelihoods. Yet, honourable members, while we must welcome these initiatives, we must also be candid about the opportunities either missed or deferred. In an era of rapid technological change, the budget under Vote 1 does not go far enough in driving digital governance. Citizens should be able to access services online, track applications, and engage with government seamlessly. The absence of a bold digital strategy is a missed opportunity. While monitoring and evaluation are also mentioned, there is insufficient emphasis on rooting out corruption. The Premier's office must lead by example, setting the highest standards of integrity. Without a strong anti-corruption framework, trust in government will remain fragile. The budget does not adequately reflect mechanisms for deeper community participation. Citizens must not only be recipients of services, they must also be partners in governance. Participatory budgeting, community forum, and citizen audits could have been prioritised. The Premier's office also has the mandate to drive provincial economic strategy. Yet, allocations toward economic innovation, investment promotion, and industrial policy coordination are limited. This is a gap that must be addressed if KwaZulu-Natal is to unlock its full potential. Honourable members, budgets are not also about what is included, but they're also about what is omitted, and omissions can be as telling as allocations. However, although I've pointed out these issues, I'd also like to point out strategies that the Office of the Premier could pursue. First of all, establish a provincial digital hub under the Premier's office to drive e-governance, data analytics, and citizen engagement for platforms. This would modernise service delivery and reduce inefficiency. Secondly, create a dedicated integrity unit within the Premier's office to monitor corruption risks, enforce ethical standards, and ensure clean governance across departments. We commend the Deputy Speaker under the Premier's guidance for initiating the recruitment of the individual to head up this commission. We must, however, be vigilant, as this Commissioner must have extensive background in law, auditing, public administration, and ethics, as well as a high-level security clearance and rigorous financial disclosure checks. It is also vital that the successful applicant has a demonstrated independence and impartiality as the role investigates ethics breaches by members of the Executive Council and also senior government officials. Thirdly, a provincial economic council. The Office of the Premier could convene a council of business leaders, academics, and civil society under the Premier's office to shape economic strategy, attract investment, and drive innovation. Fourth, expand disaster management into a broader climate resilience framework that is proactive rather than just reactive, and include integrating housing, infrastructure, and agriculture planning to withstand future shocks. These strategies would not only strengthen the Premier's office, but also ensure that Vote 1 becomes a driver of transformation rather than a mere administrative centre. Honourable members, as with all votes, we must balance realism with vision. Yes, resources are finite. Yes, difficult choices must be made, but leadership is about setting priorities that inspire confidence and deliver tangible results. The Premier's office must embody balance. It must both be visionary and disciplined, both ambitious and realistic. The Office of the Premier is not just another department, it is the custodian of provincial leadership. The budget must therefore not be judged not only by its allocations, but also by its capacity to inspire confidence, to coordinate effectively and deliver results. Honourable members, let us call on the Premier's office to rise to this challenge. Let us demand governance that is clean, efficient, and inclusive. Let us insist that Vote 1 becomes the engine of transformation in KwaZulu-Natal. In conclusion, Chair, we welcome the initiatives under Vote 1 that promise real-world impact. We present strategies to strengthen this vote. This is not criticism for its own sake, it is constructive engagement. It is a call to ensure that the Office of the Premier fulfills its role as the nerve centre of governance, the custodian of integrity, and the driver of transformation. Honourable members, let us support this budget with both appreciation but also vigilance. Let us welcome what is good, critique what is lacking, and propose what is necessary. Only then can Vote 1 serve the people of KwaZulu-Natal. I commend this budget to the House. Thank you.
Thanks, Professor. We now ask Honorable Dabulani Mkhize from the MK Party to debate for 7 minutes. Over to you.
Honorable Chairperson, honorable members of this House, today on behalf of Umkhonto weSizwe Party, I rise to engage constructively with the work of the Office of the Premier. Let me begin by acknowledging that there has indeed been measurable progress in certain areas. The Office reports that it achieved 96% of its target in the fourth quarter of the 2025-2026 financial year, a notable improvement from the previous quarter. This indicates that the system of reporting, internal coordination are in place. And where these systems functions well, they must be recognized. However, Honorable Chairperson, the role of Umkhonto weSizwe Party is not merely to upload performance on paper, but to interrogate whether performance translates into the meaningful change in the life realities of the people of KwaZulu-Natal. It is precisely here where concerns begin to emerge. While the administration report high compliance and improved outputs, communities across the province continue to experience persistent service delivery challenges. The very same report highlights ongoing intervention in water supply, sanitation, road electrification, and social infrastructure. These interventions are not indicators of complete success. They are evidence that the problems they seek to address remain unresolved. A performance score of 96% therefore does not reflect a province where challenges have been eradicated, but rather a system that is still largely in reactive mode. Furthermore, Honorable Chairperson, there are clear signs of administration weaknesses that cannot be ignored. Within the financial management processes, issues such as unsigned procurement report, incorrect documentation, and missing support evidence have been flagged. These are not a minor technicalities. They point the weaknesses in internal control and governance. If left unresolved, such weaknesses undermine accountability, erode public trust. Turning to the budget office of the Premier, it is allocated approximately 856 million for the 2026-27 financial year. However, this allocation is accompanied by budget cuts in the outer years, as well as significant reprioritization towards administration cost, ICT system, and operational expenses. While these investments may be necessary, the concerns from this side of this House, it's whether sufficient resources are being directed towards programs that directly impact the communities, particularly in the areas such as job creation, infrastructure delivery, and poverty alleviation. The issue of young development further illustrates this contradiction. Although funding allocations and interventions exist, including a 20 million youth empowerment fund, the report itself acknowledges that youth development remains an area of concern, with a performance below expected target. This raises an important question. Are we spending effectively, or are we simply spending without achieving the intended outcome? Similarly, while there have been efforts to support vulnerable groups, including women, youth, and persons with disabilities, the scale of impact remains limited when measured against the need. For instance, although more than 7,000 women have benefited from empowerment programs, the broader structural challenges facing women in the economy persist. The Women Advancement Fund is commendable initiative, but progress shows that only limited number of beneficiaries have reached advanced stages of funding support. This suggests that access remains constrained and that the program needs to be expanded and accelerated. Honorable Chairperson, an equally important area of concern is governance and audit outcomes. The report indicates the decline in clean audit, with only 4 departments achieve the clean audit status compared to 6 in the previous year. This regression signals weakening financial discipline across government, and it must be addressed urgently if to build a capable and ethical state. The performance of public entities further reinforces this concern. The Zulu royal household, for example, received approximately 38.9 million in transfers from the office of the Premier and spent 89% of its allocation budget. While expenditure levels appear high, performance output do not always align. One key target relating to the implementations of Board of Trustee resolution was not achieved in the fourth quarter, highlighting gaps in governance and oversight. It was not personal, eh? Our widow, I'll do so.
Thanks, Commissioner. Sorry. We now move to the next honorable member, Honorable M.W. Twala, on behalf of the EFF for 4 minutes. Is he connected? Not bad. Okay. We were notified that Honorable Twala is writing exams. We are checking with Honorable Nkosi whether she is going to debate. Okay. So we move on to the next speaker from the NFP, Honorable CM Shinga, for 4 minutes. Konisha, over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson Lontra Demande, the Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, the Honorable Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Ward 1, Honorable Mbali Fraser, and all honorable members. Unlike other departments, the Office of the Premier does not build clinics, teach learners, or maintain roads. Its responsibility is far greater. It is the coordinating center of provincial government. It exists to ensure that every department functions efficiently, the public resources are properly managed, and that government speaks with one voice in delivering services to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. As the Portfolio Committee correctly observed, the Office of the Premier carries the responsibility of building a capable, ethical, and developmental state through improved governance, accountability, evidence, informed decision-making, and professional public administration. Those are not simply policy aspirations, they are constitutional obligations upon which every department ultimately depends. The National Freedom Party therefore welcomes the continued emphasis on strengthening governance systems, improving accountability, and ensuring that provincial administration becomes increasingly professional and ethical. We further note the increase in performance targets from 23 to 25 indicators, particularly in strengthening ICT systems and evaluation mechanisms. These improvements demonstrate a willingness to modernize government and improve performance measurement. However, Honorable Chairperson, increasing targets is one thing and achieving them is another. The Portfolio Committee itself correctly cautioned that these additional targets must remain fully implementable within the available budget and should never compromise other priorities through underfunding or over commitment of limited resources. That observation deserves our continued attention. For the National Freedom Party, success cannot simply be measured by clean audit outcomes alone. Success must also be measured by whether government departments actually work together. Too often, departments continue operating in silos while communities experience a fragmented service delivery. The Office of the Premier must continue strengthening coordination between departments so that government functions as one administration, serving one province with one common purpose. Chairperson, we also welcome the continued oversight over the implementation of finance committee and SCOPA resolutions through the sector oversight model. The committee has correctly committed itself to rigorous monthly and quarterly monitoring because oversight only has value when resolutions are implemented and recommendations produce a measurable improvement. As the National Freedom Party, we encourage the Office of the Premier to continue driving consequence management where commitments are not honored, while recognizing and rewarding excellence where departments perform well. We also welcome the continued support provided to the Zulu Royal Household Trust. This institution remains an important part of the cultural heritage and traditional leadership landscape of KwaZulu-Natal, and we are encouraged by the committee's observation that its oversight has begun yielding positive improvements in governance and future fundraising initiatives. Our province continues facing enormous challenges: unemployment, poverty, crime, inequality, and infrastructure backlogs. No single department can solve this alone.
Thank you, Honorable Shinga. We now ask Honorable Nsimelane to debate on behalf of the ANC for 4 minutes. Over to you, Mhloniphi.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon to you, to the Premier and all the honorable members in the House. Chairperson, the strength of any democracy is measured by the quality of its institutions, the integrity of its leadership, and its willingness to account to the people. Accountability and oversight are not obstacles to governance. They are what makes good governance possible. They are the foundation upon which public trust is built. It is therefore encouraging that the Portfolio Committee continues to strengthen oversight through the sector oversight model, regular quarterly monitoring, and the implementation of resolutions adopted by both the Finance Committee and SCOPA. These mechanisms reinforce transparency, improve governance, and help ensure that every rand entrusted to the government delivers tangible value to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. It is within this context that Budget Vote 1 assumes particular importance because the Office of the Premier carries the responsibility of ensuring that the machinery of government functions effectively and remains accountable to our people in Pemba as you continue to do so. Chairperson, the Office of the Premier is more than an administrative center. It is the engine room of provincial government, responsible for policy coordination, monitoring implementation, and ensuring that departments work together towards a common purpose. We therefore support the increased budget for Vote 1, while expecting every additional rand to translate into measurable improvements in governance, efficiency, and service delivery. Budget allocation increases from 817 million to 856 million in the 2026-2027 financial year, representing an increase of 4.6%. With increased resources comes increased responsibility. As an office with coordinating functions, the people of KwaZulu-Natal rightly expect stronger institutions, better coordination, and improved outcomes. Among the Office of the Premier's most important responsibilities is the stewardship and support of the Zulu royal household. The ANC has consistently protected and strengthened this institution because it is far more than a cultural symbol. It embodies the history, identity, and traditions of millions of people in the province of KwaZulu-Natal and beyond. Through progressive legislation, sound policy, and sustained support, successive ANC-led administrations laid the foundation upon which the KwaZulu-Natal Zulu Royal Trust, Zulu Household Trust continues to operate today. This Trust Act was established in 2018 as a legislative framework to safeguard royal assets, strengthen administration, and preserve the dignity of this important institution for future generations. The allocation of 28 million rands demonstrates government's continued commitment to supporting the administration and management of the trust. We welcome the committee's observation that the trust is making encouraging progress in strengthening fundraising initiatives and improving the management of its assets. The next step is to convert these efforts into long-term financial sustainability, stronger government, and greater public confidence. We hope that the trust will also be able to look beyond our shores and see how other trusts or other royal trusts are managed and actually function to strengthen the royal household. Chairperson, clean audits remain important because they reflect sound financial management. However, good governance cannot be measured by audit outcomes alone. It is equally reflected in ethical leadership, responsible stewardship of public resources, institutional stability, and most importantly, the confidence that citizens place in their government. We support the budget vote.
Thanks to Honorable Simelane. We ask Honorable T.A. Nene on behalf of the MK to debate for 10 minutes. Over to him, finish.
Honorable Speaker of the session, Honorable Premier, Honorable members of this House, greetings also to inkosi yasemadungeni undunankulu waKwaZulu-Natal umushasha makaqedi ngisho 24 hours. Greetings. Umkhonto wesizwe party rises today to oppose the 2026-27 budget vote 1 office of the Premier. We do not so because we oppose governance, coordination or administration. We oppose this budget because it represents a government that has become increasingly disconnected from the daily realities facing the people of KwaZulu-Natal. While this budget speaks of coordination, strategic leadership, and improved governance, the people of our province are asking a far more fundamental question. Where are the results? KwaZulu-Natal remains trapped in a cycle of unemployment, poverty, crime, collapsing municipalities controlled by the GPU, infrastructure decay, and poor service delivery. According to the latest official statistics, millions of South Africans remain unemployed, with youth unemployment remaining among the highest in the world. In many communities across our province, households continue to experience water shortages, deteriorating roads, unreliable public services, and growing levels of economic exclusion. Against this backdrop, the Office of the Premier has been allocated 856.2 million for the 2026-27 financial year, an increase of 38.3 million or 4.69% from the previous financial year. Yet the question before this House is not whether the budget has increased. The question is whether the people of KwaZulu-Natal are receiving value for money from this expenditure. The Office of the Premier is not a direct service delivery department. Its primary responsibility is to coordinate, monitor, and provide strategic leadership across government. Therefore, its success must be measured by effectiveness of government as a whole. Unfortunately, the evidence before us demonstrates that despite all these years of strategic plans, annual performance plans, oversight reports, and policy frameworks, service delivery outcomes remain deeply unsatisfactory. The report before us proudly notes that performance indicators have increased from 23 to 25 targets. Honorable Speaker of the session, increasing targets on paper does not automatically improve the lives of our citizens. Government departments throughout South Africa have become experts at producing plans, reports, presentations, and performance indicators. Yet, communities continue to live without basic services. The people do not eat performance indicators. They do not drive on annual performance plans. They do not find employment through government frameworks. As Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, we are concerned that this budget continues to prioritize administrative processes over measurable outcomes. We are told that there will be improved governance, accountability, We are told that there will be evidence-informed service delivery. We are told that there will be ethical and professional administration. These promises have been repeated year after year. Yet corruption continues to drain public resources. Municipalities continue to fail audits. Communities continue to protest because government has failed to deliver. The Office of the Premier is supposed to provide strategic leadership across the province. If that leadership is effective, why are so many municipalities in distress? Why do communities still experience prolonged water outages like in areas in Nanda, Efolweni, Adams, Umkababa, Umlazi, FG and H, places like Ngonyameni? Why are infrastructure and service delivery projects delayed or abandoned? Why do citizens continue to lose confidence in government institutions? Umkhonto weSizwe Party believes that government can't continue celebrating administrative compliance while ignoring socio-economic realities. We can't measure success simply by achieving audit outcomes while communities are trapped in poverty. A clean audit means little to a young graduate who can't find work. It means little to a pensioner who can't access reliable health care. It means little to a family that waits years for housing and basic services. We have seen that in our last multi-party visit in Utrecht, in the Goede Hoop housing project, which has taken more than 2 decades, more than 20 years, without even a single housing structure in Watu in Utrecht. On traditional leadership, funds allocated to protect Amakhosi Zizwe, which are plus minus 300, is in a snake with security rollouts and CCTV camera installations. They are frequently lagging behind schedule in previous quotas. Amakhosi akithi sikholelwa ukuthi awakavikeleki ngendlela ekufanele avikeleke ngayo. We therefore note the allocation of 28.3783 million to the Zulu Royal Household Trust. The MKP recognizes and respects the historical and cultural significance of the Zulu Royal Household. We support efforts that preserve the institution of traditional leadership and protect cultural heritage. The reality is that economic growth remains sluggish, poverty levels remain unacceptably high, and thousands of young people enter the labor market every year with little prospect of finding employment. Under these conditions, government can continue operating as though administrative efficiency alone will solve the province's challenges. The MK party believes that the people of KwaZulu-Natal deserve a government that places service delivery before bureaucracy, communities before consultants, and development before self-congratulation. Public funds must be directed towards programs that produce visible and measurable improvement in people's lives. As an opposition party committed to accountability and good governance, we will continue to exercise rigorous oversight over the Office of the Premier. We will monitor expenditure, evaluate performance, and demand accountability whenever public resources fail to produce the outcomes promised to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. Today we send a clear message.
Order.
Honorable Kaula, can you please be in order?
It's a guy Kuzel. Honorable Kaula, don't interrupt him.
Yeah. Today we send a clear message. The people of KwaZulu-Natal are tired of promises. They are tired of reports that celebrate processes while communities suffer. They are tired of a government department that speaks the language of performance management while failing to deliver meaningful change. For these reasons, and keeping with our commitment to the people of KwaZulu-Natal who voted for Umkhonto we Party in numbers, the same votes that were rigged by the GPU, we are not supporting this vote one office of the Premier 2026-27 financial year. We therefore reject this budget and call for a government that prioritizes.
Order, honourable members, don't drown the speaker. Honourable Kasa.
We therefore reject this budget and call for a government that prioritizes economic justice, accountability, service delivery, and the genuine upliftment of our people. Amanda!
Honourable Mbata. Right. Okay. Order, honourable members. Order. Honourable Moyo. You want to say something?
Yes, in Palma 57(1)(a), point of order. Chairperson, uma uthi order sikuzwa ingawa abantu bejana speaker usho electing ngathi ngasondela empobheni kanje sizokuzwa.
Ningawubangi nani umsini. Thank you, Honourable Nene. We now move. Honourable Kubani.
I'll deal with him.
We now ask Honourable MC Mapisa on behalf of the IFP to debate for 6 minutes. Over to you, Mhlonishwa.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Chair of Chairs, the Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Chief Whip, the Honourable Premier, and the Honourable NEC, Honourable Members. The IFP supports Budget Vote 1 because the Office of the Premier plays a very important role in government. It is responsible for making sure that departments work together, that promises are followed through, and that government delivers service to the people. This budget gives the Office of the Premier the resources it needs to do that work. The IFP also wishes to commend our Premier, Honourable Eighteen Tuli. Since taking the office, he has shown that he wants government that works. He has placed strong focus on accountability, service delivery, and clean governance. That is exactly what the people of KwaZulu-Natal expect from us. Honourable Deputy Chair of Chairs, the Honourable Premier has delivered according to the expectations of young people. The Honourable Premier has given young people opportunities on the Youth Empowerment Fund. He has given Kolani Zwane 1.1 million from Amajuba district for breeding cows and vaccines. Honourable Deputy Chair of Chairs, again, the Honourable Premier, he has delivered according to the expectation of young people of this province. He has given Olile Innocent Shambele an aluminium fuel tanker worth 1.9 million from Amajuba district. Again, the Honourable Premier, he has also went to Herikwali district to give Lindokuhle Maphumulo a tipper truck worth 1.9 million. Again, the Honourable Premier delivered according to the expectation of young people in this province. He went to Herikwala district and gave Londiwe Mbanjwa 1.7 million. He bought the tipper truck for her. Again, the Honourable Premier, he has went to Herikwala district and gave Ngamsile Ndlovu about 871,000 to do the agricultural activities. Honourable Deputy Chairs, the Honourable Premier has risen to the occasion. His office went to the CAO application drive in Umhlabuyalingana in deep rural areas. The Office of the Premier again went to Emadlangeni local municipality for stimulation program in Ward 1, 3, 6, and 5. Again, the Office of the Honourable Premier has went to Inkosilang Balele for job preparedness. Again, the Honourable
the Office of the Honorable Premier has delivered according to the expectation of young people in the province, when in Ulundi handed over 300 laptops to young people of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The Honorable Premier again did not stop there. He also gave 300 young people training program of computer skills, where they are getting the stipend of 3,500 rand for 6 months each. Again, the Honorable Premier convened the investment summit with the Economic Development Department, Honorable Reverend Zondi. Again, the government of provincial unity, led by the Honorable Premier, has given LED projects to the traditional leaders, led by the MEC of Kokta. Again, the government of provincial unity has given the people of KwaZulu-Natal in 23 in Vryheid electricity. Honorable Premier, you have risen into the occasion. While others they shout, while others they distract, while others they cause chaos and confusion, you continue being steady and provide services to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. The IFP supports the budget because we know that it will go to the people. But Honorable Premier, one wants to address something. The obsession of Honorable Mthethwa with yourself and Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Mbali Fraser. You wouldn't do anything. He's the one who changed the ownership of his company. When he wanted to benefit from the youth fund, he changed from being the director and put his daughter. You could not flout the processes. It's lesi silokozane lesilungulela naso ngomhlonishwa uNdunankulu, kanjalo nomhlonishwa usihlalo wekomiti lakwa OTP. Ayikho into uNdunankulu ayezoyenza. Uye owayeka ukuba udirector enkampanini yakhe ekhanda amabhokisi okungcwaba. Ngo6 months wafaka indodakazi yakhe. Wasecabanga ukuthi uzohlomula ohlelweni le-youth fund. Akukho uNdunankulu ayezokwenza. Mhlonishwa uNdunankulu. Mhlonishwa uNdunankulu. Njenge-komiti lakwa-OTP sihambile saya eGingindlovu. U-R69 mawudlula nje, your government has given a young lady imali yokukhanda the place called Ngobi's Entertainment Center. It's the government that is working. Kodwa Ndunankulu, no wonder the honorable member on my left, umakoti wale ngakithi, she's shouting so much. She benefited previously. She also benefited on the nutrition previously. She hoped that she would benefit again. Honorable Premier, okay. Kunjalo, isicathulo siyakwenela. Mhlonishwa uNdunankulu. When we go to oversight, we see the good work that your government continues doing. There is something that you will never do. Honorable Sam. Honorable Sam. Honorable Sam. Honorable Sam. Honorable Sam. Honorable Sam, stand up. Honorable Sam, stand up. Honorable Sam, stand up. Is it off? Maphisa uqedile suspension namhlanje. You are saved. You are no more suspended. Honorable Sam, stand up, Honorable Sam. Stand up. Stand up. Honorable Sam, don't behave like this. Yes, this is what you said. Honorable Sam.
I say desist from calling an honorable member Umfana.
I desist from calling an honorable member Umfana. But Bandle. Oh, I desist from calling Umapis Umfana. Honorable Mapis.
Uhlekani manje? Honorable, we are being cautioned. Don't laugh. I'm just saying. No, I'm saying we are being cautioned. Take it seriously. Don't laugh. That's all I'm saying.
I mustn't laugh, Chair.
No, you shouldn't laugh.
Oh, okay, Chair. I'll try.
Just behave.
I must
take a seat.
Oh, thank you, Chair.
Don't be rowdy. Just take a seat. Okay. That's fine. Thank you. We thank Honorable Mapisa. And now we've reached a stage where we'll get a response by the Premier to the budget debate. Honorable 18 Tuli for 20 minutes. Pam.
Honorable Chairperson, the acting Chair of Chairs, Madam Speaker, the Honorable MECs, Chief Whip, the Chair of the Portfolio on OTP, Honorable Fraser, honorable members. Well, thank you very much for a debate that we have had in this House, especially for those who displayed the understanding of the OTP responsibilities and even the budget that was actually tabled today. I wish to, however, respond to the issue of underperformance and the issue of a capacity. It's unfortunate that an oral member will dare read what was prepared for him to suggest that the pre because I think it would be a disaster to expose that level. Utukela municipality, which was cited here, though it was not part of the debate, but I wish to state that I've been invited twice to Tugela on a handing over of a water project that are complete, where communities in those communities had to benefit. The last one was Kashamba, where more than thousands of people received clean water after Tugela municipality, in fact, handed over officially the scheme of water. Coming to the challenges of local government, yes, I agree. Local government has challenges which are historical, which we are solving. That is why the recent report we received from COGTA was that from 13 municipalities that were at risk, they've been able to assist and provide support to reduce the number to 8 municipalities, which is an indication that work is being done is strengthening local government in our province. We also agree that we can still do more to strengthen coordination and support to local government by our OTP and our provincial government. We will be doing just that. On the youth fund, abantu bakwaZulu-Natal bahlomulile. Futhi ngiyafisa ukucacisa ukuthi abantu abahlomulile akusibona abantu benkatha. Ngoba I've been to Kokstad wherein young farmers, they came to me during the visit to Kokstad and who thanked me. I do not know them. And in Newcastle, there is a lady who was circulating with a truck, or petrol, not diesel, who thanked this government for the support. I visited Lapaya King Tetwaya, a project, a plus Lapabandabasha, and it would be a disgrace. Uma abanye bebelonga kwelinye lamaqembu akhona la endlini bezwe sebebizwa ukuthi bayinkatha ngoba nje bahlomula uhulumeni olidwa inkatha. Kodwa bebe mhlawumbe kungenzeka be ngokobuqembu bebelonga kuwa amaqembu. Manje ke ngifisa ukucorrecta lokho ukuthi usizo kubantu abasha KwaZulu-Natal lalingabhekisiwe emaqembini ezepolitiki lalibhekise kubantu bakwaZulu-Natal. Yingakho nala eMaritzburg nje lapha nje mawungehla ufika umbuzo indodakazi lo lapha yana ukuthi ungwaliphi iqembu. I don't think indaba zeqembu uyazazi ema ukuthi uyazazi. Ufika umbuze owathengelwa imoto yoqhubeka umsebenzi webhizinisi lakho, wathengelwa imishini emkhulu yokuba aservice ama government departments ngokufotocopya. Abantu abasha bakwaZulu-Natal bahlomulile abathole from 20,000 to 50,000, they are almost 44, and they've created job opportunities. About 50,000 to 2 million, there are 60 young people of this province of KwaZulu-Natal. Ngoba i-agenda yethu ukuthi abantu bakwaZulu-Natal kufanele sikwazi ukuthi isibhekane nenkinga ebhekene nabantu abasha. So ngifisa ke ukuthi ngikucizelela ukuthi sizoqhubeka sizame ukusiza abantu abasha. Okwesibili, on the issue of coordination, the Department of Education, no one can dispute that the Department of Education is #1 in South Africa in terms of 2025 matric results. We cannot label that department as a failing department when the department is #1 in the country. #1 not only with a percentage, but even in terms of the quality. I've visited some schools built recently by the Department of Education at Osizweni, the state-of-the-art special school, providing skills that you rarely find even in some of the urban schools. And the stability in the Department of Education, you see there are no issues on nutrition program. Learners are getting feeding on daily basis, even while there are financial pressures, but there is stability in the department. And coming to the issue of the Department of Health, the MEC for Finance is on record here, talking about progress, improvement in the Department of Health. That is the evidence of coordination at a right level. The Department of Transport is building roads and bridges. We understand there is backlog, there are challenges in certain areas, but when you go out, KwaZulu-Natal is a construction site. So I wish to say those challenges that were cited by the oral member, saying it's because of the failure of the Office of Premier to coordinate, is quite not accurate in terms of what is taking place here in the province. The anti-corruption agenda, we have the forensic investigation unit in the office that is presenting reports on regular basis to SCOPA and to other committees for oversight, which shows the evidence that we are dealing with corruption as the Office of the Premier. That is why we dedicated that office to fight corruption and to continue dealing with whatever report that is reported. That is our agenda. Other issues that were raised, we have councils that I spoke about, which I thought the oral members, they were going to understand the role of those councils. Councils that are dealing with the issues of economy, councils that are dealing with the issues of climate change, councils that are dealing with crime. Those councils, they're multi-sectoral. The approach is the whole of society approach, wherein stakeholders in our society, they are participating to work together with government to build the better future of our province. Yes, unemployment is still high in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, but I thought the honourable member was going to appreciate that first quarter 2026 starts SA General presented that there is a decline in the unemployment in the province of KwaZulu-Natal from 32 to 31%. That on its own is an indicator that there is a Honorable Chair, that is an indicator. Honorable members, that there is progress, there is improvement. We must acknowledge that we are seeing improvement in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And to address the issue of infrastructure at decay in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, we have launched an infrastructure coordinating council, not to only analyze the infrastructure decay, but to also provide platforms for the funding, inviting funders to come on board, even inviting a private sector to cooperate with government in funding our infrastructure, because our infrastructure is an enabler to the investment. As I've already tabled that in the past 2 years, we were able to attract more than 180 billion of investment with pledges of more than 300 job opportunities, of which we are beginning to see these job opportunities being realized. Even during the very difficult times in the first quarter, when the country employment rate declined significantly, but the only province that was able not to only maintain, but to introduce new opportunities is the province of KwaZulu-Natal. That is a sign of progress that this government of racial unity is actually presenting to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. To honorable members, Honorable Fraser, I must really thank you for your leadership. Your leadership makes the department to account to be guided accordingly. And we will be always willing to account to your leadership and to the portfolio committee because it assists, it strengthens the work of the office of the Premier. And I must also commend Honorable Dlungwana, Honorable Shinga, Honorable Smelane, and Honorable Mapisa, and Honorable Kwala for their debates, which really showed that they understand the OTP and they understand what is being debated here. I must, from the left, also appreciate one debate really by Honorable Mkhize from the left. Honorable Mkhize's debate really was relevant. And Honorable Mkhize showed the insights on the issues that the Office of the Premier is tasked to actually do. As a result, I even thought if he can share his speech, I can use it to take forward the province. I believe that, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Kuban, don't do what you do. Don't drown the speaker, please.
I want to believe that it's a lesson that going forward we continue to work together. I must really appreciate honorable members who acknowledge the importance of getting clean audits in all departments. The decline to 4 departments is what we were trying to actually engage and resolve, but we cannot understand a member, an honorable member who will say AG's outcome cannot be supported because it does not give a meaning outside. I think rather an honorable member must say, though we acknowledge AG's outcome, but we still believe more can be done by this outcome to make the lives of the people outside better. The people of KwaZulu-Natal, they see this government, they see the work of this government, and this government is working with the people of KwaZulu-Natal. That is why within a very short space of time, we've been to the people on the ground, engaging people. That is why we are working with the traditional leaders. That is why we are working with business. That is why we are working with civil organization to ensure that the future of this province becomes an inspiring new hope one for the sake of our children. That is why the Office of the Premier is ensuring that it's coordinating all departments to go to the ground where people are so that we engage the people, we visit the work that is being done by the government, of which that I thought was going to be commended by the honorable members, because to sit on the left or on the opposition will not only mean that you'll only comment on the shortcomings, like Honorable Mkhize gave a lecture today in this house, that when you sit on the left, you must acknowledge the achievement. You should be able to acknowledge the performance of more than 96%, as he has actually said. Honorable members, I wish to thank all of you who have participated in our debate and invite you to work with us to take the people of KwaZulu-Natal to a future that they aspire. Abantu bakwaZulu-Natal balambele ukubona ukubambisana okuhle nohulumeni oletha uguquko nowenza impilo zabo zibe ngcono. Ilokhu ke ngikwenzayo, ilokho okwenziwa uhulumeni of government of racial unity. Thank you very much.
We thank the Honorable Premier. We thank the Honorable Premier. We have come to the end of the Honorable Moyo. Please, I'm concluding now. We've come to the end of the debate. Honorable Kubani, stand up. You're out of order. Usahleka. Order. Honorable Kubani. No, Honorable Kubani. Desist from what you are doing. Honorable members, you must behave like honorable members, not like kids. That's why you are called honorable members. No, Honorable Moyo, ufuna ngisukumise na. Right, honorable members, order. we thank you for participating in the debate. We've come to the end of the debate on vote 1. We are going to have lunch for 30 minutes. Honorable Moyo. I'm making announcements. We are going to have a lunch for 30 minutes. Those honorable members who serve or will participate in the debate on vote 9 will come back here. Those who will partake in the debate of vote 4 will go to Ingqoqe. At 3:10, we'll continue with the business of the day. The House is adjourned. You can be released, honorable members. No, do it when there's a mace. You see the mace is down, so we don't do it. There is somebody who lost his key. I forgot to make an announcement.
What are you doing?